everyone, welcome to my January card class. We're going to be using the Layers of Beauty bundle, and that bundle comes with the dies, the stamp set, and it also comes with some, Stampin' Up calls them decorative masks, but they're just stencils to do the coloring. And my first card, it looks kind of like, I haven't glued this. This is just like my prototype, but basically your card is going to lay just like this and pull out like that. Normally a normal card front is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, but to save paper, so I can get three cards from each 12 by 12 sheet, I'm going to just cut it at 4 inches. So the first thing you're going to do is cut at 4 inches by 12. And then you're going to score at 3 1/2. And 9. Okay. Then you're going to get your ruler out, and you're going to basically you're going to measure at 2 inches, or basically in half. Going to mark at 2 inches on both sides. And we're going to cut from that mark to the score line. You can do it with your scissors, or I prefer a much straighter cut, so I'm going to do it on my cutting, or my trimmer. Just going to put this in the track and this point in the track. And cut. Same thing for the other side. And you're going to flip it over and do the same thing. Put your tick mark or your pencil mark in the track and your score line in the track. And this is going to fold over just like that. Okay, so let me tell you the measurements real quick for this. If you purchase the class, it's on your PDF, but let's see, this is Night of Navy. It is 4 by 5 3/8. Another piece of Night of Navy is 3 by 4 1/4. Basic white is 3 3/4 by 5 1/8, and 2 3/4 by 4. Now, in this stamp set, it has Happy Anniversary, You Make My Heart Smile, and Grateful for You. In our class that we do in person, I always bring stamp sets, extra stamp sets for people to stamp whatever they want on their card, in case they don't. You really don't need that many anniversary cards. At least I don't send that many. I only send to a few friends and then my husband. So I'm using this layering leaves. I don't even remember. I haven't even looked to see it. This may be retired. I think this one's still at, current, but you really can use any stamp that you want. But before you start stamping your flower, you want to make sure that you have your sentiment to where it fits, because when you go to do your stamp, you want to make sure you leave room for that. So I'm doing the layering leaves, and I'm doing thank you so much, and stamp it in Night of Navy. I think the boho blue is a little bit light. I like the dark. I've had this since I bought this stamp set last April, or actually probably before that, because I did it for pre-order, and it's one of those I've had forever, and I just kept, I don't know why. It's a beautiful set, and I'm glad I did get the chance to use it, but I've not used it, so I wanted to make sure I did before it. I don't know if it'll retire or what'll happen this April, but it's definitely a good set to have. I think I'm going to do this little one here. So from last time I stamped it, I just turned the stamp around. The thing about big stamps is it takes a lot of pressure sometimes to get it to stamp. This thing is so, I feel like it's it's uncomfortable to hold this. But it is stamping very good. Okay, now let me just close this up. Now, if you choose, you could color this, but I'm choosing not to color it. I'm going to just leave it as is. Use this. Okay, so I just want to give you a little tip on this card. Of course, as per usual, I always forget to gluing this in. I'm just setting it inside the gems on my hands. Look, I can only imagine how they're going to look after class. It'll just sit in there Friday. It will not get glued in there. Cleaning all this is just a little bit of adhesive. Easy and fun. And this is just for me. I normally clean here, the stamps during our card class, so I can only imagine how my hands are going to look Friday. But anyways, my tip is
adhesive at
when
the top
you
and adhesive at the bottom of this.
Okay, so that's our card. You'll just slide this out to write your sentiment or write your message. Now, if you don't want to put so much flowers in there, you can just do like the edge or whatever. If you need more room to write, you can pick to put less flowers, or you could just put one in one corner and nothing in the other, whatever you choose. But I thought this was kind of a cute idea to just have it stuck in there to slide it in. So that's card 1. Okay, real quick. Per usual, I forgot to put the gems on. I'm using the rainbow. What are these? The rainbow adhesive back dots. I just did tone on tone for this card, and I did the yellow for this one. My tip for this is whenever you're picking your designer series paper for this card, you want to make sure it's it's not a directional type paper. And what I mean is, like, when you fold this over, like if this had words on it, part of it would be up, like this would be upside down. Or one way it would be upside down when you fold this. So you want to try and make, like this had no, it's a full pattern and it can go any which way. It looks nice either way you fold it. So that was just my tip for that card. Now, for this next card, I'm just going to apologize in advance for the measurements because they're a lot. Okay, so first we're just doing our traditional card base. That's 4 1/4, or you know, what is it? See, I haven't done cards in so long. I can't remember. 5.5 by 8.5, 8.25, or 8.5. I'm sorry. See, I'm losing it. Okay, and then you got your next panel, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And then you're going to have 6 of these, which, where's my cheat sheet? Which is 1 13/16 by 5 1/8. So you got 6 of those. That's going to go like this. Just like that. And then you have this sheet, which is 3 3/8 by 4.5. And we're going to cut it down to smaller squares to fit into each one of these after we stamp and color, to 1 3/16 by 1.5. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp our sentiment. I'm just going to do a memento for this. And I'm using the Spotlight on Nature stamp with the thanks. I got this idea from Pinterest. Let me see if I can. Traceofcreativity.com. I have pretty much spot on copied this card because it is so cute. I probably would have changed the color if I didn't already have those colors were in the gem or in the gems, but I would have probably changed it around. But this is kind of, I'm wondering if I'm going to like this or not. Let me see. Maybe I should do it in a pink. I'm going to do, let me see. I was thinking that if I did it in the black, it would stand out and it wouldn't be too much pink, but I'm not sure that I'm liking that. So I'm going to flip this over. Or maybe not. I'm going to get a new one. And instead of the memento, I'm going to bring in the Flirty Flamingo. Oh, okay. I got to get it together here. But it's good that you guys see this because when I come to class and my cards look good, you can see how many I see. Look at that, mess that one up too. How many I throw away. All right. Okay, better. All right, now I gotta see. I think I'm gonna do. I'm going to do it just like that. So the majority of this is going to get stamped. Now the way the masks are, you don't necessarily have to necessarily stamp it first. But I feel like it's just easier to line up the mask without having to, tape it down and everything. So that's what I'm doing. Okay. This is definitely a very big and awkward stamp. I always feel like big stamps are awkward to stamp with, and they're hard to make sure you got it all. Luckily I did. Okay, I'm just going to, I guess I can leave that open. Now I'm going to, where are the, here. Okay, each one of these masks are numbered. Like there's, up in here in the corner you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not on the camera, but there's a little 1 right there, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there's 5 different ones. The first one, okay, so I'm going to go with the lightest color first, which is our Lemon Lolly. Let me grab some painter's tape real quick. It's just easier to not have. I'm going to do this first because I want that corner to stay. I move this just a little bit. Okay. Now we always want to start off on the edge and then bring it in. There, it's turning. I should have made this a Mother's Day card. My mom's favorite color rose is yellow. Okay. Oh, I just messed up my card right there. Okay, so that's 1, 2. Actually, I'm going to do the Flirty Flamingo. Now you don't have to do this in 2 colors. You could do this in just 1. And each time you go over it, it'll get a little bit darker and it looks really cool. I think the next card I'll do that. Do it that way just so you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, 3. I'm basically lining up these little centers here because that's the only way I can really tell. Okay, so for this one, I'm just going to keep going darker again. I'm not going to go because the yellow won't show up. Okay, and now for number 4. Okay, now I gotta pick a green. Pick this up. I'm like, I think I'm gonna do Lost Lagoon. I love Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock as this moved on me as greenery colors. And now number 5. Oh, look at it, all of them turned this way, so okay. I think I'm just going to go in with the same with Lost Lagoon. It'll just be a little bit darker this time. Okay, let me close up my ink. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in my trimmer, and then I'm just going to cut this in half, so it's going to be 1 3/16. That's not right. Oh yeah, no, there ain't no way. 2. Let me see. 3 3/8 by 4.5. Okay, I told you wrong. It's 1 11/16. I told you it's awful math. So and then each one of these will be 1.5. And make sure you keep your design because it's a little bit crazy trying to figure it out. Okay. Now I'm going to, let's see. I haven't used my glue in, oh, it is squirting out there. I was say I haven't used my glue in so long, it probably, first let me make sure this is lined up right. Okay. I didn't, when I seen the card on Pinterest, it didn't give the measurements or anything. At least I don't think. If she did, I didn't watch the video. I just looked at the, I don't even know if there is a video. I just seen the picture and in fact, all these little squares, the pink one or the Flirty Flamingo, I ended up doing the measurements on my Cricut because I was like, I'm not cutting all those. But if you're just making a few cards, it's not that bad. But when you're making cards for a whole class, it's a lot of cutting. And this is on my smaller side of class. I mean, it's not one of my bigger classes, so it's not as bad. Now, normally I would pop all this up and do all that with the dimensionals, but I'm not even going to do that because I'm more concerned about it being straight than I am with it being popped up. And I feel like it makes it easier when you have glue so you don't have to, so you can move it around a little bit. Isn't this pretty? It's just so cute. I love it. Please ignore my fingers. That first card, I don't know. That navy blue was all over my, when I was cleaning the stamp. Oh. It's funny because all of us ladies after card class on Friday, we meet the last Friday of every month. Pretty much. Sometimes we'll arrange or change the date if there is a holiday, or usually we started this year, we didn't have class in December, but we had an extra class in October. Well, this year our whole plans was not gelling because of the hurricanes, but now, normally what I do is I will glue top and bottom when I do something like this, and then make sure the middle is put in last, because then I can, like if I get this off a little bit, Hopefully everyone will like this card. I really like it. Probably could have pushed them together a little bit more, but that's all right. Okay, so let me grab my gems. Oh. And then we gotta put, we don't have to put this in there, but I always do. Number one, it balances out the weight of the card, so. But the Flirty Flamingo is light enough to where you could write inside. But I like to do this just because there's so much weight on the front. This balances it out, or balances out the card weight. Okay. And then I am going to come in with the, ooh, I think I'm going to do, because there's so much Flirty Flamingo, I think I'm going to do the Lemon Lolly. And I'm going to do a big one here. A big one here. And a smaller one right there. Actually, I'm going to move this over a little bit. Okay, so there's card number 2. Whoops. Super cute. Okay, so here's a little tip that I discovered while I make multiple cards for the classroom, so I could have one at each table or one at every other table or whatever. But if you line up your stencil up here in the corner, like that very first one I laid down for the yellow, and then I marked with a pencil on my grid sheet, then the next one is a lot easier to line up. So just something that I kind of figured out after I turned the camera off that I thought would be helpful for you for when you make your cards. Okay, so for card 3, I wanted to kind of throw in a technique. This is called like the shadowing technique, and you're going to take your 2 pieces of cardstock. This one is 4 by 5 1/4, and this one is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. All you're going to do is you're going to take some temporary adhesive and just put a little dot of adhesive and place this in the middle on top of each other. And then for this, I've already got my mark. I've got this marked on here where I want to position this. You basically just want to make sure that you put it in the same spot every time. I mean, like when, well, I'll just show you what I'm talking about. Like you want to make sure it's in its spot in case you don't get it stamped correctly, but you're going to flip it and do the other side. So that's what I mean by positioning it the same each time. So I'm basically just trying to get this little corner here. looks like I got it pretty good. So now I'm just going to flip it and put it in the exact same spot. Make sure this doesn't move on you because it looks like it was moving. Now we're going to stamp again. Okay. Now we're going to remove that. Get this out of the way. Now, if you're going to color it, what I plan on doing is only coloring just the top part to just this part. So I'm going to put this in place here, set this to the side, and go through and I'm going to color it just like I did with my stencils the first time. I'm going to pause the video so I can do that so you don't have to watch that all over again. And I will... Okay, so now we're going to take our Fresh Freesia card base, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then we're going to take this 3 by 3 square. We are going to glue this down here. Oh, I'm so mad. I just messed that up. Well, it's just going to have to be... Now this piece, and what you want to do is you want to make sure that your flower is lining up with the bottom one. We're going to put the dimensional, well, first we're going to glue this down. Oh, I'm so mad about that smudging like that. Okay, now we're going to put dimensionals on the back of here. And we're going to line up our image just like that. And then we're going to take our panel for the inside. And put it right here. And then since I messed up this right here, I gotta let me see. All right, since I messed that up, I jacked that up, I'm gonna stamp just for you on this little circle, and then I'm gonna glue it down right there. It's not ideal, but you know, you gotta cover up your mess up sometimes. I'm just gonna glue it straight down flat. Just like that. And that is card 3. Hopefully you guys like that. And this is called, what did I say it was called? It is 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, 7 a.m. the day of class. So, yeah. Oh, shadowing. This is called shadowing. Anyway, I hope you like the card. Thanks. Bye-bye.